As a plus size person who has a disability, these were some things I did to make my travel recently more enjoyable. Firstly, I booked a business class seat. That meant there was more space and it meant that there was nobody next to me. It was short haul, so I could afford it. If there hadn't been business class, then I would have booked two seats. I know it makes things more expensive, but as far as I'm concerned, it means that there's less anxiety. That anticipation anxiety and stress just drives me insane. So if it's going to cost more, it's going to cost more. That's just how it is. And that I just tend to think that that means that maybe I'll travel less, but I'll travel in a way that feels more enjoyable and less stressful to me. The second thing I did was book special assistants. I've used this a couple of times now and I find it really useful. You can do it at the time of booking. Make sure you absolutely book it in advance because if it gets too close, then they can actually refuse to give it to you. So book it as far in advance as you can. What you can also do as well is contact them. Generally on their websites, each airport will have details about who does the special assistance. So if you want to give them extra information about your needs or kind of find out what is available just to kind of ease any stress or anxiety, that is a really useful thing to do. The third thing I did was take snacks with me. So the thing is in airports, whether you're using special assistance or not, if it's taking you extra time to get through the airport, you're never quite sure how much time you're going to have. And with special assistance, quite often you can be waiting around ready for somebody to take you. So you can't be guaranteed that you can grab something when you're in the airport. And even if you have access to the lounge, you don't always get to go to the lounge depending on how busy the special assistance is. So I always make sure to just pack a snack with me and not assume that I'll be able to pick up anything at the airport. And then the fourth and final thing I'm always aware of is to think about what I'm wearing. So I always try to make sure it's comfortable. But if you're going through the airport and you're using special assistance, it's likely you're going to end up with a pat down. So if you can stand, you might be asked to stand and go through the scanners, and that might work for some people. I'm not totally convinced it works with those that have different bodies, particularly large bodies. I'm not always sure that it's made for it because I feel like I've had more pat downs in my life than the average person. But however, if you can't stand up, then you absolutely can stay in the wheelchair and they'll give you a pat down that way. But I'm just aware that I am likely to get a pat down, so I make sure to wear comfortable clothing and to just kind of know that that's going to happen. If you're plus size or disabled or both, you can travel, but I do find that kind of planning and thinking about these things in advance really does make a big difference and help me kind of de stress and feel less anxious about the whole experience.